how do these tests work? Well, there's a number of ways that you can score a test. Most of us are used to what's called a raw score. You remember you took a spelling test, there were 20 points, you got 18 out of 20 correct? That's a raw score. It's exactly how many questions, exactly how many answers. Maybe it was a fraction or a percentage. There's no error of measurement in that test. The tests that our kids take don't give you raw scores. They give what's called a scaled score, which means that the testing authority takes the raw score and then uses some formula to convert that raw score into a scaled score, which is kind of a number that doesn't mean anything by itself. It's just a number. So if you don't know what the formula was, and you don't know what the error of measurement in that, like, because when I convert one number to another, if it's not a straight conversion, there's an error of measurement in how that moves over. So if you don't know what those are, you don't really know what the scaled scores mean. So, for example, this is the ACT technical manual. The ACT is a test that everybody's familiar with. This is the technical manual that's current. It was 2014 copyright. And their technical manual says that their error of measurement is plus or minus 2. And they're 68% sure of that. So that means that a score of 30 is really a score somewhere between 28 and 32. They're pretty sure. But they're not really sure. They're only 68% sure. So when you are looking at and evaluating, and when state departments of education, for example, give you, well, look at how our scores have improved, if it didn't change by more than 2 points in any direction, it didn't change. So, for example, I was in West Virginia, and the folks from Kentucky came up, and they were telling us how, I was in front of the joint House and Senate Education Committees, and the folks from the Kentucky Department of Education were telling the committee members how wonderful this program was because their scores had improved over 5 years. So I handed them the standard error of measurement. Their scores changed by 1/10 of a point in a system in which the standard error of measurement is plus or minus 2. And they're not even really sure it's that. So when you look at the scores, it's important to know, well, what am I really looking at? And are these numbers actually real? Validity, because what we're